Hello, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to Mayor Victor Gordo's 2023 State of the City Address at the beautiful campus of the Kaiser Permanente Bernard J. Tyson School of Medicine. Wow, with our own health department, Caltech, and now a medical school, we can prevent the next pandemic here in Pasadena. I am Vice Mayor Felicia Williams, and in addition to attending all the fun events with the mayor, I also get to be your master of ceremonies tonight. And first, we will start out by introducing and acknowledging our elected officials who are here with us today. First, my fellow esteemed Pasadena City Council members, if you could stand. And the mayor. It's great working with you. And we also, our PUSD board members are not here because they have a board meeting tonight, but we do want to acknowledge them. We also have Pasadena City Council trustees. Are there any here? City College trustees. And then we have representatives from Congressman Adam Schiff's office, Congresswoman Judy Chu's office, State Senator Anthony Portantino's office, and State Assembly Member Chris Holden's office. Now I would also like to acknowledge and recognize our city leadership, including City Manager Miguel Marquez, City Attorney Michelle Bonaris, City Clerk Mark Jomsky, and the executive leadership team at the city. If you could stand. And lastly, I would like to recognize all of the members of our community who serve in voluntary roles with the city on commissions, committees, and operating company boards. You have dedicated your time to helping our citizens and serving the community, so thank you for your service. And now I would like to welcome community member Tina Rowe, and she will begin our program tonight with a land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We acknowledge the original inhabitants of these unceded lands who lived and thrived here from time immemorial, the Garbiano Tonga. We acknowledge that the Tonga are still part of our vibrant community, and we are grateful for their teachings of respecting the lands, waters, elements, plants, animals, and all life. Aho, and it is so. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Now please welcome Troy Elam, Director of Facilities and Services for the School of Medicine, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Welcome. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Now I would like to introduce the founding dean and CEO of Kaiser School of Medicine, Dean Mark Schuster.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Williams. Mayor Gordo, City Council members, other distinguished officials, and members of the community of Pasadena, welcome to the Kaiser Permanente Bernard J. Tyson School of Medicine. We are a new addition to the city. We welcomed our first class of medical students in July 2020 We're a school that embraces innovation and seeks to create a fully inclusive environment. We're a school focused on health and not just disease. We're a school focused on prevention and not just treatment, and a recognition that the greatest influences on people's health, whether violence, pollution, poor nutrition, or a whole host of other factors, occur in their daily lives well beyond the clinic, in their homes, schools, workplaces, and neighborhoods. It means a lot to us that Mayor Gordo, when he was considering where to discuss the future of Pasadena, chose our school. We are so proud to be a part of this city's present and its future, and we're excited to listen tonight to the mayor's vision for the years ahead. Ever since we opened, our community has made this city our home and has sought to take full advantage of all that it has to offer. Many of us have enjoyed checking out hiking routes in Eaton Canyon and shopping at the Saturday Farmers Market next to Pasadena High School. We've cherished walking up to Colorado for lunch and exploring Old Pasadena for dinner. We've also enjoyed taking tours of the Norton Simon Museum and cheering on the Tournament of Roses parade. What a joy to have the Pasadena Playhouse just a few blocks away with their amazing productions. Everyone should check out their wonderful Sondheim Festival this year. And then there's the Rose Bowl. I was proud to raise the average age of the crowd there for an Ed Sheeran concert a few years back. See the gray hair? Of course, many of you may think of it as the home of the Rose Bowl game or of the expansive Rose Bowl flea market. Here at the school, though, we think of it as the site for our annual 5K Pride Run in June, and we hope you'll all join us this year. But it's not just the famous attractions that Pasadena offers the students, faculty, and staff of our medical school community. It's the day-to-day support. City officials have been accessible and welcoming through every stage of our journey, whether we were making plans for the building, welcoming our students for the first time, or pursuing accreditation. We've been represented by terrific city council members, first Andy Wilson and now Jason Lyon. And the city's chief public health officer, Dr. Ying-Ying Go, was exceptional in her efforts to help us open safely during one of the most intense periods of the COVID-19 pandemic. Simply put, this city is served by outstanding leaders with our mayor at the front of the line, and we appreciate you all. We're also thrilled to work in partnership with great institutions of research, learning, and healthcare that also call Pasadena home. The Huntington Medical Research Institute and the Doheny Eye Institute have invited our students to contribute to their important work. Several of our students are pursuing our dual degree program with Caltech, receiving their medical training here and working on their PhDs there. We are also excited about our budding relationships with Pasadena Unified School District, Pasadena City College, and Union Station Homeless Services. And we're particularly proud of our partnership with ChapCare. This committed health center worked with us to establish a student-run clinic where our students receive excellent support in helping patients from all over the San Gabriel Valley. We are confident the clinic will continue to do great work for years to come. And we've only just gotten started. We look forward to building many more connections with members of the Pasadena community. So thank you again, Mayor Gordo, for your generosity in recognizing our school and for everything this city has done to welcome us. You've made this city feel like a home, and for that, we are all so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Schuster. And now I would like to introduce Noah Contreras, who is from the school's class of 2026.
Good evening, everyone. This is a bit different than practicing to an empty room. My name's Noah Contreras, and it is an honor to be speaking with you tonight. Now, I know what you're probably all thinking. I came here to listen to the mayor, not to a medical student. And to that, I would say I'm not just a medical student. I am also a dog owner, and I know just how much the city loves its little four-legged friends. A bit about myself. I'm from the Central Valley of California, the son of a high school educator father and a small business owner mother, the middle brother to two wonderful siblings, and a proud dog owner. And unfortunately, Despite my best efforts to convince the dean otherwise, she is not allowed in the building. As with many medical students, I discovered my passion for medicine through personal experience. My grandfather's Alzheimer's diagnosis and subsequent deterioration was a pivotal moment in my life. A visit to the hospital became an everyday after-school activity. And during that time, the support of medical providers was a constant source of comfort for my family and me. After my grandfather's passing, my parents brought my sister and me down to Southern California to help take our minds off the loss. 14 years ago, when I sat in the cold metal stands to watch the Rose Parade, I never thought that one day I would be a student at a then non-existent medical school just down the street. And so it's an honor and a bit of a full circle moment to stand before you today and talk about this school. Selecting a medical school is a big task. It's like picking a movie to watch on a Friday night. There's a lot of pressure to make the right choice. It's going to affect so many different things in your life, from the communities that you're in, to the faculty that you learn from, and the peers that you learn alongside. And as a first-year medical student at the Bernard J. Tyson Kaiser Permanente School of Medicine, I have to say that I've made the right choice. As a student, I've always loved the human body. From the first time I stepped foot in my high school anatomy class, to conducting research at one of the largest trauma centers in the Central Valley, to teaching high school science during my gap year, my fascination with science and the human body's complexities never ended. But I never anticipated being as captivated by the art of education as I am now. The reason for this is a unique curricular model that our medical school has implemented. Our school operates on a flipped classroom model that prioritizes active learning through small group sessions. And for me, this has been quite the game changer. I can finally understand the concepts I'm learning rather than just memorizing them for a test. The curriculum has three main pillars. The first is biomedical sciences, which is the science part of being a doctor. Next is clinical sciences, which I call the craft of being a doctor. And then the last is health system science, which is the study of the broader health systems that we all navigate, whether that be as a patient, a provider, a caretaker, a family member, or a friend. And in case it comes up during local trivia night, this school is one of the only in the country to have a standalone health system science department. These different pillars provide us with a well-rounded education that equips us with the knowledge and skills necessary to tackle the challenges of the future. But what sets this school apart are the four threads that run throughout its curriculum. And these threads, they weave together into a tapestry that helps enrich and bring life to our education. The first thread is diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's a fundamental aspect of our curriculum and is reflected in the diversity of the student body, faculty, and the communities that we serve. This not only helps us to learn from one another, but also prepares us to be providers in a diverse and complex world. The second thread is health promotion. We're taught the importance of preventative measures and maintaining good health, and how to partner with patients in making health-conscious choices that align with their lifestyles. Our goal is not just to treat illness, but also to promote health and well-being in the communities that we're in. The third thread is advocacy and leadership. We work with a physician coach for all 4 years of medical school. We set goals, we build resilience skills, and we learn how to champion change in our practice and in the communities that we inhabit. And the final thread of our curriculum is interprofessional collaboration. We're taught to work alongside other healthcare professionals like pharmacists and nurses to provide comprehensive and coordinated patient care. This collaboration allows us to provide the best care possible for our patients and to learn from one another in that process. Now, I could go on and on about the school. I serve as an admission ambassador, so I get to talk with students every week about this. But I think it's best to let the building speak for itself. If you're here tonight, take a look around or take a tour if that's an option. And you'll see that the building oozes innovation and creativity, from a future-facing anatomy resource center to walls that are filled with artwork that reflect the mission, vision, and values that the school was built on. And if you're joining from home, take the online tour. I can't really begin to imagine what my life would look like if I didn't choose to attend medical school here, and luckily I don't have to. I'm grateful to the school for all it has provided me so far, and for the Pasadena community that accepted it with open arms. I'm proud to call Pasadena my home for the next 4 years, and I look forward to serving our community as a healthcare provider in the future. Thank you for your time and attention this evening, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thank you, Noah. Now, please join me in welcoming the Blair Viking String Quartet, who will perform a piece by Florence Price, an early 20th century classical composer and music teacher. Miss Price was the first African-American woman to be publicly recognized as a composer and to have her works performed by major symphonies of the time. The Blair Vikings Quartet. Thank you, Blair Vikings. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. So now I would like you to turn your attention to the screen where we will watch the 2023 State of the City video.
Pasadena, a name that means so much. When our city was incorporated in 1886, residents and visitors alike recognized the unique and extraordinary character of Pasadena, naming it the Crown of the Valley. Community, innovation, diversity, world-renowned. That same sentiment exists today as Pasadena still maintains its small-town charm, while also being a mecca for scientific exploration, artistic expression, and internationally recognized entertainment. Over the last year, there have been some significant changes in both staff and City Council leadership. With the retirement of City Manager Steve Mermel in 2021, the city went through an extensive search process to hire our new city manager, Miguel Marquez. Mr. Marquez has a lengthy history in public service, having served as the Chief Operating Officer of the County of Santa Clara and as an Associate Judge of the California 6th District Court of Appeal. Since his arrival, the city manager has announced the selection and onboarding of new Police Chief Eugene Harris and Pasadena Water and Power General Manager Sidney Jackson. On a sad note, we lost one of our most dedicated public servants with the passing of the dynamic and well-respected District 3 Council Member John J. Kennedy. Councilmember Kennedy was elected to serve on the City Council in 2013, and his impact on his district and the Pasadena community at large cannot be overstated. His legacy will be honored in the many projects that he was involved in throughout the years, and we were proud to hold this year's Black History Parade in his name. The City Council then appointed Pasadena-born and raised resident Justin Jones to fill the District 3 seat. Councilmember Jones is a licensed civil engineer and an associate civil engineer with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Works. 2022 also saw the election and arrival of District 7 Councilmember Jason Lyon. While there may be new faces at City Hall, our mission remains unchanged. We provide the best service to Pasadena residents as we build a great city and lead in so many areas. The diversity and quality of community events occurring in Pasadena rivals any large metropolitan area. One City, One Story, a book discussion event held annually by the Pasadena Public Library, featured the books In the Country of Women by author Susan Straight and Stealing Home, Los Angeles, The Dodgers, and The Lives Caught in Between by author Eric Nussbaum. During Art Night, 20 arts organizations and performance venues opened their doors to the public to showcase their work and exhibits. One of our most beloved historic landmarks, the Rose Bowl Stadium, held the epic party of the century to celebrate the Bowl's 100th anniversary. In celebration of the holidays, the City of Pasadena, in partnership with Ralph's Food for Less, donated and distributed 500 turkeys and gift cards to the community for Operation Gobble Gobble. And always a crowd favorite, the mayor's annual holiday tree lighting brought joy, music, and good cheer into the City Hall Rotunda. Highlighting the diversity in our city, our Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Department held a Latino Heritage Parade and Festival in person, and what a great celebration it was. And as part of its Black History Month festivities, the department will hold a free, family-friendly screening of the movie Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, tomorrow night at Centennial Square. Our public health department, in addition to the continuation of vaccination efforts with clinics and outreach, hosted both a Mental Health Awareness Day at Jackie Robinson Community Center and the Mejor Salud, Mejor Vida Community Health Fair and Clinic at Villa Park Community Center. 2022 was a very successful year for the start and completion of new parks and facilities all around the city. Last November, the former Jefferson Elementary School reopened as the Jefferson Campus, which now houses a new library branch, a fire department training center, and facilities for the PAL program and Explorer programs. The campus also hosted Fire Service Day earlier in the year. The city broke ground for both Robinson Park Pool and the Washington Park Community House, and held ribbon cutting ceremonies for the Lamanda Pocket Park, La Pintoresca Park, and the Playhouse Village Park. Affordable housing remains an ongoing challenge, not only for Pasadena, but for the majority of California. But we have made positive strides in those areas. The new Heritage Square South project is expected to be completed later this year and will provide our most vulnerable population 70 permanent supportive housing apartments. The Salvation Army is constructing a new 4-story facility, the Diane and John Mullen Hope Center, comprised of a 9,000 square foot social service center on the first floor and affordable permanent supportive housing on the 3 floors above, will provide much needed housing and services. Heritage Housing Partners' newest project, Lincoln at Orange Grove, will be a mixed-use development with 48 attached residential units, as well as 5 market-rate condominiums that will provide home ownership opportunities for low and moderate-income households. To address the prevalence of homelessness in Pasadena, the city has 2 teams out on the street to engage unhoused individuals for 2 distinct purposes. The HOPE team serves as responders to emergency mental health crisis calls and proactively seeks contact with people who are in need of services prior to potentially volatile situations occurring. The goal of the PORT team is to identify individuals impacted by chronic homelessness and through supportive services and case management, assist them in moving off the streets and into permanent housing. Over the past year, happily, there have been a number of success stories thanks to the shared efforts of these teams and community partners. Pasadena is always a city on the go, and so is our transportation department. In May of last year, cyclists took to the streets for Bike to Work Day and stopped by City Hall for information and snacks. The department hosted 2 community meetings regarding improvement of traffic safety on Craig Avenue. At a demonstration near Central Park in April 2022, Pasadena showcased infrastructure treatments such as artistic crosswalks, a parklet, curb extensions to exhibit street improvements, and promote safety and active mobility. New benches were also installed at transit stops around Pasadena to enhance the transit experience. Reliable water and power is vital for any city to operate, and Pasadena Water and Power continues to provide exceptional service to its customers. PWP is currently in the process of upgrading the Arroyo Parkway pipeline water main. Additionally, PWP hosts water-saving workshops and shares messaging and information with its customers. Well, as you can see, the city and all of its dedicated employees, working with residents and all of our community partners, have certainly accomplished a lot during the past year. And as we look forward to the future, let's keep in mind that together we thrive, Pasadena.
So Mayor Gordo has come up with a great theme this year for the state of the city, and that's Together We Thrive, Pasadena. It is amazing to see our businesses come back to pre-pandemic levels, to see conventions and events bringing visitors to the city, and to see our executive leadership team filled out with new hires and people at the city. As we continue to adjust to the new normal, we still have many post-pandemic impacts that we have to contend with, namely inflation, and also ensuring that everyone in this city can benefit from our recovery. As we as the City Council work to ensure we have housing for people, that we are a publicly safe place to live, and that we are protecting the environment, we also need to make sure that the decisions we make at Council not only have a positive impact on our budget, but on your wallets. That's going to be very important as we go forward. And I can't think of a better team to do this with than the City Council that we have right now. So these are challenges, but these are also opportunities. And what I would like to say to our young people, whether it's the Vikings or the students at the School of Medicine, whatever you want to be, whoever you are, you can see yourself on our City Council. This is the most diverse City Council we've had in 135 years since this city's been around. So we have a great team, and we can't really do that without great leadership and really a sun to align our planets. So I have a question for you. It's kind of a riddle. what do you call the center of the universe? His name is Victor Gordo, and here he is for the State of the City 2023.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Williams. I guess the pinpoint center of the universe is right here in our community. And I'd like to thank all of my colleagues and all residents of Pasadena for being that pinpoint center of the universe. I'd like to also welcome our mayor. I tell people it's an honor and privilege to be mayor, but every mayor has a mayor, and my mayor is Mayor Bill Bogard. And so I'd like to. So I want to welcome everyone and say to each of you who ensure Pasadena thrives, thank you for all that you do. I want to say thank you to my wife, Kelly, and welcome her, and my son, Michael, and Emma for being here and for their unwavering support of my service as your mayor. I also want to thank the Blair School String Quartet for the beautiful music we have been enjoying this evening. Let's give them a round of applause. And speaking of Blair, the Vikings varsity basketball team will play for its first CIF Southern Section title in school history this Saturday against Santa Paula. So we should all be cheering for the Vikings. Go Vikings. I'm proud to say tonight that Pasadena is thriving. We're thriving as a city and as a community. And how appropriate, because we are here at the Kaiser Bernard J. Tyson School of Medicine, where the theme is Thrive. Thank you to KP School of Medicine for its hospitality tonight, for its commitment to Pasadena, and for preparing our next generation of doctors. I'd like to ask Dean Schuster and all KP doctors, staff, and yes, medical students in attendance to please stand and be recognized. Thank you for the work that you do to ensure that we will all thrive together in the future. And Dr. Schuster, for delivering what a beautiful facility this is, what a beautiful gift to Pasadena and to our health that this is, and to the entire community. Dr. Schuster, felicidades, señor doctor. Congratulations to you. As you saw in the video a moment ago, together we are thriving. We will continue to plan for in the future, invest in infrastructure, strive for ongoing improvement, and face challenges head on. I'm cautiously optimistic as we dive into 2023, knowing that we have survived and thrived and are flourishing even in the most difficult of times. I'm looking ahead in anticipation as we work together, residents, businesses, and civic leaders, to ensure every person has an opportunity to be a successful and contributing member of our community. Where we've been, let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to look to see where we've been as we lift our eyes to the horizon and agree upon where we're going. Let's ensure that we revisit where we have been. Because the pandemic took us through some of the most difficult times as a community and as individuals. Recall that during the height of the crisis, every aspect of our lives was affected. Health, finances, business, social interactions, education, jobs, family, even the way we communicated was affected. Many of the impacts remain with us, and some of those impacts seared changes in us that may never be reversed. The pandemic laid bare issues that many in society sometimes wish were not there. Social inequity, injustice, economic and educational disparities, mental health challenges, housing instability, and substance abuse, just to name a few. These are all issues that we must now tackle as a community, and I will talk about that in just a moment. Before we do that, let's also recall that at City Hall, we also faced multiple staff retirements and dozens of key position vacancies in a very, very short period of time. For a glimpse of what I'm talking about, consider this. During my 2 years as mayor, I've worked with 3 city managers, 4 police chiefs, 2 planning directors, 3 water and power general managers, 2 fire chiefs. In total, we've had 16 interim directors and executives since December 2020, and so many in an acting position. People ought to be applying for a SAG card. Some doubted that we could continue to thrive under these circumstances. They said the instability would simply prove too great. But Pasadena was not deterred. In the most difficult of times, instead of allowing instability, working together, we achieved a seamless transition at City Hall with minimal negative impact to residents. When instability could have taken root, instead, we created stability. So I say thank you to staff, to residents, and community partners for all you have done to create that stability. We rose to the occasion, and we rose to the occasion together. And we should all be very proud of that. Because the resilience that we continue to exhibit as one Pasadena, as our friend Councilmember Kennedy used to say, gives me great comfort and confidence that as we face future challenges, and believe me, we will face future challenges, working together, we will continue to thrive. Now, looking ahead, fiscal matters. As Vice Mayor Williams points out, if inflation is on everyone's mind. We're experiencing uncharted economic environment where inflation, while slowly coming down, still remains very high. Similar to the many factors that we have all experienced in our own homes and businesses, the city's budget is not immune, get it, immune, medical, to inflation. It's simply not immune to inflation, and our costs to provide quality services have increased. For the general fund, normal inflation equates to approximately $6 million per year. Therefore, current inflation of 4 to 6% can have an impact of as much as $12 to $18 million per year, which is why we have been monitoring this issue very closely and will continue to monitor this issue very closely. On a positive note, the city's general fund revenue has improved, and it's improved dramatically, from $267.2 million in fiscal year 2021 to almost $303 million in the current fiscal year. Remember, we're nearly $1 billion operation when you factor in all other revenues. The city's general fund is largely driven by strong property values and sales taxes, which account for more than 1/2 of the general fund. And sales tax revenue has realized a tremendous growth from $61.4 million in 2021 to $73.3 million in 2022. The transit occupancy tax, besides being just a tax, it's also a measure of transportation and visitors to the city, the hotel tax. That tax was impacted tremendously from the pandemic as revenue totaled only $6.3 million. And that represented a lost revenues of $11.5 million just in 2021. But travel has increased. Visitors are coming. And that significance increase since the time of the pandemic has increased the TOT revenue, and that revenue is expected to now approach $17 million in this current year. And we're expecting those revenues to exceed pre-COVID levels next year at more than $18 million. Now remember, that also means people are visiting Pasadena. The golf course, the Rose Bowl, the convention center, they've all realized tremendous activity and a tremendous rebound in the past 12 months. And we see a very positive outlook for all. While the economy has rebounded well the last couple of years, and we depend on that continued strength to fund all of the service that we provide to the community, please know that we will act prudently and proceed cautiously, keeping in mind the overall delicate financial environment that we exist in. The current consensus is, in fact, that our financial position is stable, and unlike other jurisdictions that did not resist the urge to overspend when things got better, we did resist the urge to overspend. And our general fund reserve is now fully funded again. You see, as things got better, we focused on replenishing our rainy day fund. And today, we are prepared appropriately for that rainy day. We knew that when we dipped into those rainy day funds, we hoped another rainy day was coming outside. We didn't want a financial one, but here it is, and we're prepared. Notwithstanding our strong financial reserve position, at City Hall, we are continually assessing and reassessing, and we will be prepared if there is a reduction in revenues. And you should all rest assured that with our new city manager and our very strong executive team, we're prepared and we will act accordingly. And my colleagues on the city council, of course. Each year, the city develops a budget that strives to balance the community's needs with the financial resources available. And although the potential for a recession in the near term, 6 to 18 months, continues, Pasadena is in a solid position to withstand a potential slowing of the economy. We are watching very closely the state's budget and the now, as of 5 p.m. today, projected $30 billion shortfall. And we're anticipating a possible reduction of one-time funds to our city that come from the state and the federal government. Be assured that we will be and continue to be financially prudent with the city's budget, continue to manage your tax dollars responsibly, and be mindful not to cause unnecessary increased costs to residents as we do that, particularly those who can least afford it. So let's look at where we're headed. Looking forward to fiscal year 2024, the delicate balance will continue. As we review where our funds are allocated and how to address the critical needs in our community, I'm optimistic about the future. And we all should be proud and celebrate recent victories. What am I talking about? The 710 Stub property and the awarding of more than $180 million in Measure R funding from Metro, funding for critical infrastructure projects related to transportation. With the 710 corridor planning process soon underway, let's keep in mind the complexity ahead of us. This is no planning exercise, and it's essential that we get it right because there are no do-overs when you're building a community. Restitching our city requires imagination, expertise in planning, finance, open space, transportation. It's going to require expertise in infrastructure, housing, history, and commerce, just to name a few. And that's why I say closing the gap at the 710 is not a project, it's a moment in time. I'm a firm believer that a good process leads to a good outcome. So I invite all of you, whether you're here or watching on television, to participate as we reimagine the Pasadena of tomorrow while respecting the beautiful city that we have all inherited from generations of Pasadenans. On the housing front, our regional partnerships were strengthened and expanded last year, just as we sought to do. Now that we've rejoined the San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments and Pasadena is lending our voice regionally, the 31 cities of the San Gabriel Valley have created a housing trust fund. And they're working together and are building much needed housing in the region. But then we looked to the west, and working with our neighbor cities of Glendale and Burbank, 2 additional cities, Pasadena established a regional housing trust to construct housing opportunities in our collective communities. Thank you, Senator Portantino, and thank you to our city staff, because that trust is already funded with $23 million from the state. Pasadena remains committed, as we should, to supporting our housing department's important work of increasing affordable housing opportunities in our city as we work with our neighboring cities to do the same throughout the region. Now let's talk about community safety. I say let's continue to work on ensuring that our police department, our fire department, and importantly, our Pasadena Health Department have a comprehensive approach to violence prevention and crime reduction that includes the best trained, properly staffed departments anywhere. Let's also focus on programs anchored in a public health approach that provides residents of all ages an opportunity to participate in positive and constructive activities that enrich their lives. Now let's talk about our beloved Central Library. We have to give attention to this cornerstone of the Civic Center because it needs renovation. And we have to find a way to preserve the Central Library. And as we do that, let's also rethink how we provide library services. This is an opportunity to reinvent and to lead in the community and in the state and beyond how library services are provided in the future. When it comes to the environment, let's continue our commitment to issues associated with climate change. And we ensure we do our best to effectively protect the environment. We have a responsibility to do that. But we also have a responsibility to protect the environment, taking into consideration the very, very real cost to residents, especially those who can least afford it, those who are struggling to keep the lights on, struggling to keep a roof over their head, and struggling to keep food on their tables. So you asked me, what else is happening in Pasadena? Good question. And let me tell you, that's part of the reason that we're here. Because Kaiser, Caltech, Art Center College of Design, all of these great institutions continue to attract the best and the brightest. Last year, the Carnegie Institution for Science, an independent nonprofit research institution established in 1902, announced its plans to expand in Pasadena with a new state-of-the-art facility, a research facility. The project represents a proactive investment in the fight against climate change, and we will see soon a diverse array of scientists who will focus on Carnegie's long-standing expertise in exploring the natural world to seek some of the most pressing challenges we face today, including drought, water quality, and sustainable energy. In October 2022, just up the street here, I welcomed Protimer Technologies to Pasadena. Protimer, a subsidiary of Eli Lilly and a Caltech spinoff, seeks to cure diabetes. And I say to them, what a better place than Pasadena to achieve this goal. It's precisely where that goal should be achieved. For you car enthusiasts, and I know you're out there, the General Motors Design Center has arrived and will begin designing GM automobiles in East Pasadena within 1 year. Xencor, a biotech company that uses cutting-edge protein engineering technologies to make new medicines for patients with cancer and autoimmune diseases, recently established its corporate headquarters and research laboratories right here in Pasadena. But wait, there's more. Pasadena was recently chosen by the Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation and the World Trade Center as the first city to host a select LA Investment Summit outside of the city of Los Angeles. I say to them, they finally made it to the big city. That summit is going to provide over 400 international companies with a comprehensive understanding of the region's investment ecosystem and with actionable insights that can guide key business decisions. And we look forward to welcoming them, where? Yes, to the center of the universe. Schools. Our partnership with the Pasadena Unified School District, we must continue to find ways to support our school district, students, and their families. As we look to the future of public education, that has to be a priority. In that spirit, the Task Force on Early Childhood Development and Early Learning concluded its work, and in October of 2022, the city adopted a revised early childhood development policy. Thank you to all of you who were involved in that. I'm a firm believer that everyone must have a pathway to becoming a successful and contributing member of our community. And I have invited the PUSD, Pasadena City College, and the Los Angeles Orange County Building Trades Council to form a partnership that will expose interested Pasadena residents, especially students, to successful careers in various trades and professions. So you should all stay tuned because we are very excited about that effort. On the issue of mental health and the mental health needs of our community, I am committed to ensuring, as my colleagues on the City Council are, to addressing all mental health challenges experienced by our residents. I've asked Supervisor Catherine Barger, Dr. Lori Morgan from Huntington Hospital, Drs. Goatley and Cossey from Fuller School of Psychology, and our community partners to join us in challenging the state of California and the LA County Department of Mental Health to bring desperately needed comprehensive outpatient health clinic to Pasadena to augment services provided by our local health providers. We don't have one. We must have one. So some say we are dreaming, and I say we are, but we're going to dream big. In closing, let me say this. Through 2 years now as your mayor and nearly 3 decades of serving our city, I find it useful to frequently step back, take a moment to reflect on the big picture, evaluate where we have been, and ask what work must be done to move our city forward. Pasadena is as diverse as it is complex. Answering how we progress requires consistently making time to revisit where we succeeded and reflect on how we could have done things differently where we did not. It also requires a constant commitment to listening, to learning, to collaborating, and taking action with caution when it's called for and boldness when it's needed. We've done good work, Pasadena, but more work remains to be done. And let's keep in mind that good governance and a strong community is only built through tireless daily work by each one of us, working in concert together. And that's what we will continue to do. We'll work together individually and in concert together. And I say, let's build on the momentum, Pasadena, that we have achieved together thus far and tackle new challenges and opportunities together and in concert. Again, thank you to all of my colleagues and the city staff with a special shout out to my team in the mayor's office, Vanya, Araceli, and Jana. And all residents who work diligently, and I see many of you out there, each day to keep Pasadena moving and thriving. The word of today is thrive. But the common thread today is momentum. Let's keep the momentum going so we can thrive together. In 2021, I said it was a time like no other, and it was. Last year, I said we would be stronger together, and we are. Now, let's keep the momentum going, and tonight I say, Pasadena, together we thrive. It is an honor and a privilege to serve as your mayor, and I thank you for that honor and privilege. Good night. Thank you.